Hello my friends and welcome back to the Scott Ree Project, and today we are going to be doing another one of my sausage making masterclasses. Now, the last video I did, which was butchering a whole lamb, some of you may or may not have seen it, check it out. Obviously through the process you get quite a bit of trim, which I put to one side because I want to make some sausage, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. And we are going to be making a favourite of mine, that North African beautiful red spicy Merguez sausage. It's absolutely beautiful. Now there's no binding in it, so it's just pure meat and obviously some seasonings and some spices. So I will write these in the comments, trust me. I know I don't always get round to it, but I will. I have got 2.5 pounds of lamb trim, which came off the shoulders, the legs when I was trimming it, and in between the bones. I've got 1 pound of pork fat. You don't have to use pork fat if you don't want to, but I just think it gives it a better texture. Now you can see this is quite frozen. With sausage making, it's all about the temperature and keeping it cold. So that's ideal to go through because we don't want to start smearing the fat. And then I've got the secret recipe, well not so secret, harissa paste. I have got 4 cloves of garlics which are crushed. I have got 1.5 tablespoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and I have got 1.5 tablespoons of cracked black pepper. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of cumin and 1.5 teaspoons of coriander. I will write them down in the comments, but that is basically all it is. So the first thing we need to do then is get this meat through the mincer, get it ground down with the fat and get it mixed. So I will move all of my lovely herbs, spices and seasonings. Isn't that a beautiful sight, that? And that red, let's get that in there. Lovely. I will set up my mincer, and as per usual, by the miracle of Filmland. Okay then, so I have just put that through once, through the mincer, on a coarse plate. We're going to mix this and then send it through again. But this is so simple, and it's an amazing sausage. Also eaten in the Middle East and very popular in France. And the first time I tried this, there was, believe it or not, a French market in Worcester Town. Oh, bonjour. And I bought some of these Merguez and I was just totally blown away. So I came home and I made some. It was just awesome. So I'm showing you how to do it. And it's easy. There is our minced meat. Right. Our 4 crushed cloves of garlic. Now you need to give this a good mix. I'm not going to go too much now because I don't want to get too much warmth in it with warm hands. But when we send it through the mincer again and it comes out the other end, we will give it a proper mix up. Right, to add our seasoning and our spices, take some water. I think there's about 4 or 5 tablespoons in there, maybe a little bit more. And introduce all of your spices and seasonings. And the reason we do this, because if we put dry ingredients on top, you'll find it mixes easier if you add it with water. And we'll give that a quick mix, and that already smells fantastic. Now we want to add our harissa paste, which will give it that lovely red colour. This is nice and cold now, lovely. It's beautiful. So next, my favourite part, we want 3 tablespoons of this lovely harissa paste. What a fantastic colour that is. Can you see in there? I just love adding colour to things like this. And then again, it's a case of getting your hands in and you watch this all of a sudden turn a fantastic red colour. Now, with any sausage making, when you've got your basic mix like this, You know, give it a good mix up. You can always take a bit, roll it in a ball and fry a bit in a pan just to check your seasoning. Fantastic. I think I'm going to add, because I can, the rest of this jar, which is about another tablespoon. That jar weighs 90 grams. Give that a mix. Then what I will do is exactly what I've just said. I will put the pan on, fry a ball of this, and then see where we are with our seasoning. So I've just fried a little sample there, as you can see, and we'll cut through it. We can check the seasoning. Oh, look at that. Oh man. Oh yeah. I'm not going to lie to you guys and girls, it's absolutely brilliant. Right, what you got to remember then, with sausage, that tastes amazing as it is, but give it another day or so, when all those flavours meld together, it's going to be something else. But at the moment, spot on with everything. It's not too salty, not too peppery, not too spicy, it's spot on. It's a win-win. Right, I'll send it through the mincer again, and then we'll pipe them, and the job's a good one. So you can see then, that's got a good bind on it now. I will lift the camera up in a minute. But another golden rule while making sausage, it's temperature. It's about keeping everything cold, you know, your ingredients, even your mincer. You know, it's a good idea to take your mincer head, put it in the freezer before you start. Make sure your meat is super chilled, so you don't start what it is basically rendering the fat down when it goes through the mincer, especially if you're making big batches. You know, that machine, it's metal on metal, warms up really quick, and it'll end up smearing the fat. But that's a great bind. So what I'm going to do then, as I just said, with the temperature, get this back in the fridge while I get my skins ready. Traditionally, these are piped into lamb's casings, the thinner sausage, and they're quite long, and they're amazing. Right, let me just show you that bind. I'm going to lift the camera up. In my hand then, it's sticking. Perfect. Okay then, so I've got my lamb casings on my stuffer nozzle. So on a small nozzle, small casings. Now, we are going to pipe them. Now, like a lot of things in life, this is better with two, but I'm here on my own today, so let's just do this. So, I just hold the end, make sure they can come off, and just gently start filling. And you don't want to stuff these too tight. And as you can see, they start gently coming off. Right, my friends, let's cut that off and do our favourite part, tying these bad boys. Right, the art of tying sausage. Now I've just put it in this spiral to make it easier. I have already got a sausage tie-in video I will put in the comments down there, but all I'm going to do is tie off one end. Now these are traditionally a bit longer than normal thin sausage, so I'm going to go for that length. So what I will do is pinch there, just give it a quick twist, then measure off another, give it a pinch and a twist, and then fold that one over there and through the middle. Then pick up my links and just measure them off and start tying them off. Now, like I said, I've got a video and I have slowed it down on the video, and a lot of people have found it very useful, so just check it out. Like I said, it's been slowed down, the whole process. You will be able to master this, no problem whatsoever. But I'm going to speed this up because time is money. So there we have our beautifully linked Merguez sausage. Now, like any sausage, these need to dry out a bit. So I hang mine at room temperature for a couple of hours. Then I get them in the fridge. And obviously they're better the next day. Like I said, once all the flavours are moulded together, it's all dried, it's all got to know each other and it starts to bloom. But there you go, Merguez sausage. Right, I'm going to dry these and I can't wait to try one. What a beauty. So if you haven't got a sausage stuffer and obviously you can't get the casings or skins, by all means make little patties out of them. Obviously you can freeze these down, but that would be stunning on a roll, a Merguez patty or burger. And the same goes for the meat. You know, if you haven't got a mincer, just go to your butcher preferably, if not the grocery store, and get the desired amount of meat and then just add the spices and away you go. But don't worry if you haven't got a mincer or sausage machine, still give this a go and make them. They're amazing. Okay, let's try a couple of these beauties. Have a look at them. Oh. As got me a bun, so let's get them in there. Have a look at that for a fit. Like a glove. Let's be refined. Cut them in half. Okay, let's do this. They are brilliant, and the trick to a good sausage is you want some moisture. Just have a look at that. Oh dear, look at that. All those lovely spices and that harissa. They are tip top. That is seriously a great sausage. Do give it a go. Now I will put the amounts in the comments, but I will just quickly read out what I used. I used 2.5 pounds of lamb, which was a trim from the whole carcass. I used a pound of pork back fat, 4 crushed garlic cloves. I used a teaspoon of paprika even. I used 1.5 teaspoons of cracked black pepper. I used 1.5 tablespoons of salt. I used 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of ground coriander, and I put about 4 tablespoons of that harissa into that 4 or 5 tablespoons of water, and that's it, guys and girls. Couldn't be easier, and that's what you're left with. Oh, look. Alright. It just remains for me to say then, thanks for watching this episode of the Scott Reed Project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it and share it on all your forums. Also find me on social media, Facebook, Scott Reed or the Scott Reed Project, and on Twitter at the Scott Reed Project. So until next time, my friends, see you again. Take care. Get rocking the Merguez, baby. It's the way forward.